We don't always need a crystal ball to predict the future. Sometimes we can pick up on the clues staring us in the face. In the case of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, there were many signs and huge red flags that danger and disaster were ahead. In today's video, we're going to discuss and break down the 10 red flags before Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's royal wedding that indicated that Meghan's entry into the royal family was going to be a bumpy ride and lead to a complete disaster, foreshadowing Megxit. You guys, we have a lot of juicy royal daily tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the royal daily tea. So before we get into today's video, I wanted to discuss a brand new and very exciting partnership with Analucia diamonds. Now y'all know I am a jewelry girl. I am actively collecting my royal replicas, but in the meantime, I'm now collecting my beautiful high-end luxury, affordable, eco-friendly, lab-created diamonds. It's luxury at an affordable price. Now, Analucia does the highest quality and lab-created diamonds, the closest thing to an actual diamond. She also has the Royal Seal of Approval. She has been in not one, but 2 royal albums. Her brand has been a part of Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee Pageant commemorative album, and also in King Charles's official coronation and 75th birthday album. Now, Analucia is a luxury lab-created diamond company ethically sourced to provide affordable luxury. So you can take advantage of using my discount code RDT20 to save up to 20% off. But that's not all. Analucia, you guys, is such a generous woman. She has given me a half-carat diamond solitaire necklace valued at $500 to give away to one lucky winner. So if you would like to enter the sweepstakes, all you have to do is use the link in my description. And if you would like to take advantage and save yourself 20%, you can also use the link to shop using the code RDT20. Now let's get into today's video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about a combination of mistakes and major red flags that both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made before their wedding that showcase the future royal disaster their marriage would become and how they ended up in their current situation. So the very first mistake / red flag was that Prince Harry chose wrong. He pretty much chose the wrong partner. Now, according to Patty Stanger from the Millionaire Matchmaker, she always says that his picker is off. You know, his picker, his pecker, whatever you want to call it. Now, in my opinion, it was all about timing. Meghan Markle just happened to pick Prince Harry at a very good time when he was desperate and ready to settle down. In my opinion, if she would have dated Prince Harry 2 or 3 years earlier, it would not have happened the way it did. Now, I also believe that Meghan Markle had her eyes and her sights set on Prince Harry a good 18 months before they even started dating. Now, I did a previous video called How Meghan Markle Hoodwinked Prince Harry. I personally believe that Meghan had her eye on the prize. She wanted to marry that rich UK husband. She befriended several people in his outer circle, slowly working her way in, befriending Princess Eugenie. In my opinion, this was not a coinky-dink because nothing with Meghan Markle is a coinky-dink. It was a design. It was the black spider spinning her web trying to catch herself a doe-eyed prince. And Prince Harry was tired of being the third wheel in Catherine and William's relationship. He was the 3 amigos. Now, there was that infamous interview he did where he talked about how William used to make fun of him and tease him when you would walk into a part of the castle where they were running their foundation. There was a photograph of Catherine and William together, and there was a photo of Harry by himself. He hated the fact that he was single and he wanted to find himself a Catherine. Now, there's also a very famous study that was done that most men between the ages of 28 and 35, that is the time they are thinking about settling down and getting married. Prince Harry was 32 when he started dating Meghan Markle, and he was 34 when they got married. So she got him, in my opinion, at the right time. Again, if she would have come 3 or 4 years earlier, I do not believe Harry would have been ready to settle down, and she would have had to go on to the next victim. That is my opinion. Not to mention, Meghan Markle was carefully crafting her fake Instagram profile, trying to make it look like she was perfect to marry into the royal family. Red flag mistake number 2. Prince Harry didn't listen to any of his friends or family. Now, the Queen famously said that Prince Harry was much too in love with Meghan Markle. She even saw that this was a problem, that he was just in love and like obsessed under her spell of Meghan Markle. And the Queen had been around the block a few times and could see that Meghan clearly was in control and fast-tracking this relationship. She was steering that boat all the way to the altar. And even Prince William was like, slow your row, bro. Take a breath. Think about it. We barely know this woman. You've only known her like a year. We don't need to get married. Take another year. But we all know that Meghan was a woman on a mission. She was a woman of a certain age, and she needed to get down that aisle. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle only were together for about a year and 10 months when they got married. Under 2 years, and most of that, she was back and forth from America filming Suits. Again, she was the weekend girlfriend doing the roasted chicken, doing the kumbaya. I'm so low maintenance. She was putting on an act. Even his friends were like, dude, are you sure you want to be with this woman? She's completely different. She doesn't fit into your background. And we all know that Meghan butted heads with all of his friends, that she had no sense of humor and nobody liked her. Even Prince Philip said, we date the showgirls, we do not marry the showgirls. But Harry was so enamored and ready to settle down. Again, he bought everything that Meghan sold him. He thought she was a philanthropist, that she liked Africa. She was ready to give up everything in Hollywood. Apparently, Meghan had convinced him that she was a sought-after actress. He didn't know that her acting gigs were all dried up, that she was lucky to get Suits, that that's her heyday, that it was all downhill from there. She didn't have anything but a couple of Hallmark movies if she was lucky. But she had convinced Harry she was giving it all up for him. Look at me and my huge sacrifice. I'm going to abandon my rescue dogs, and I'm going to come over from America and give up my huge career, turn down the TIG. All for you, Harry. All for you, Harry. So Harry was like, she's a philanthropist. She loves Africa. She's a woman of charity. She'll be perfect as a working royal. Now, we all know that Harry pretty much strong-armed the Queen. The Queen knew if she said no, it wasn't going to go well for Harry, that they might run off and elope, he might throw a fit. I personally believe the Queen gave in against her better judgment, hoping and crossing her fingers that things would go better. But everyone had a bad feeling about Meghan Markle. Huge, huge red flag. Red flag number 3, Meghan Markle was an attention-seeking D-list actress who wanted fame and attention. Now, we all know the minute Meghan Markle started dating Prince Harry, she was playing coy. Oh, look at me, we're so coy. Dropping major hints all over her Instagram with her little H and M necklace and the stupid bananas, setting up her fake pap walks. Again, this is a woman who has been trying for 10 plus years to make it in Hollywood, and now she had her golden moment. In my opinion, she wanted to use the press to her advantage to make people interested in her, so when her and Harry broke up, she can go off and get some major acting parts. I personally believe that she didn't think it was actually going to happen, but it did. They actually did get married. But again, Meghan Markle was a wannabe D-list actress who was more about self-promotion than her fake charity. Now, the big red flag was the Vanity Fair article when she did the wild about Harry. That was a huge bell going ding, 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 danger, danger, attention-seeking whore in the building. When Catherine was dating Prince William for 8 years, you never saw her sit down and have an interview with the press. Even when she had her brief breakup, she didn't have an interview with the press. Meghan Markle was dropping hints all over her Instagram, sat down with Vanity Fair to do a wild about Harry article. Now, we all know that Meghan Markle is such a narcissist. She really thought they were interested in her as an actress. But again, the only reason she got the cover of Vanity Fair was because she was dating Prince Harry. They didn't care about her, the little girl off Suits. No one even knew her name. But again, because she was dating a prince in England, that made her interesting. And she had the audacity to be upset that they made it about her relationship with Prince Harry. Well, of course they did, Meghan. You had nothing else to offer. So that, to me, was a huge red flag when the Vanity Fair article came over. This is red flag number 4, and to me, this is one of the biggest red flags when Meghan Markle forced Prince Harry to make a public proclamation about their relationship and to talk to the press about stalking her and give her royal protection. This is something they never ever did in the past for Catherine or for Camilla. They dealt with it for years. Even Prince William and Prince Charles at the time told Harry, no, do not do it. Harry went against their better judgment and he disobeyed and did it. When Harry did that, he made the royal family livid. He was basically giving control to Meghan Markle. And she knew, in my opinion, that she had him. Because this man went against royal protocol, went against his family, and did what she wanted him to do. She convinced him, they're after me, Harry. They're stalking me, Harry. I'm afraid for my safety, just like your mom, Harry. She even threatened to break up with him, remember that, if he didn't do this. He was afraid, actually, of losing Meghan Markle. Again, she had convinced him she was a prize. I don't know how she did it, but she convinced him she was a prize. Instead of him being the prize, he thought she was the prize. So to me, this was a huge moment in their relationship where you can tell Meghan Markle was steering the ship. She was in control of the royal kahunas, and she was squeezing them. And this is why the Queen was like, oh, Harry, you're much too in love with Meghan. This is going to be a problem. Now, the engagement announcement and the engagement photo was also a major red flag. Meghan Markle kind of dictated how the royal announcement was going to go, where the press was going to stand, where it was going to be held. And then she had that over-the-top, ridiculous $75,000 couture gown that was very inappropriate. It was a little sexy. It was a little see-through, not royal. She looked like she was trying to do a Vogue fashion spread, not a royal engagement announcement. Again, this was a huge problem considering the fact that King Charles ended up paying for that ridiculous one-time worn gown. Remember, Meghan Markle thought she was the modern-day Marie Antoinette, so what's the problem with a $75,000 couture gown that I'm going to wear one time? I mean, what's the problem? I'm a royal, you're the king. Write a check. But King Charles was not a happy camper, and this is when he had a talk with Prince Harry and said, get your woman in check. With the spending, we can't afford her if she thinks she's going to be doing this kind of stuff. Maybe she should stay an actress. Remember that? He's like, we have a budget here. We don't spend $75,000 on dresses. So that was another red flag that she had delusions of grandeur and was wanting to spend a lot of money out the gate. As compared to Catherine's engagement outfits were very, very affordable gowns. Again, Catherine did not pick out an $80,000 couture gown for her engagement photo. Huge comparisons when you look at the two women. Now, this is one of the biggest red flags. I think a lot of people at this point were kind of turned off of Meghan, and their red flag radar started to raise on this one. Red flag number 6, the engagement video. I mean, there's about 100 different things that we could literally sit here and unpack, but we're just going to go over a few of them that made people go, huh? What? The very first one, the meet cute story. The meet cute story never mathed. It never made any sense. They were coy. They wouldn't give the details, and it has changed over time. So right off the bat, the meet cute story didn't leave a good taste in people's mouth. The second one was he nice? Was he nice? I mean, if he's not nice, I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. Why wouldn't it make any sense, Meghan? You're Cruella de Vil. You're not exactly the nicest person yourself. So why would that be the only quality that you cared about in a future husband? It wasn't the fact he was a royal prince and worth millions of dollars? Nope, that didn't matter to you. Just if he's nice. Got it. Then it was the blatant lies about, I never Googled him. I didn't know anything about the royal family. I didn't know anything about Princess Diana. Excuse me? And then here's my other one. We didn't have tabloids in America. Excuse me, Meghan? I literally grew up on tabloids in the 80s. When I became a fan of Princess Diana, the only way I could get my Diana fix was through the tabloids. Every single week, the Globe, the National Enquirer, People Magazine, Star Magazine. That is how I saw pictures of Princess Diana every single week. We had tabloids at every single grocery store checkout the entire decade, and we still have them. So the fact that you're trying to say we didn't have tabloids, that was a complete lie. The fact you didn't Google him and you didn't know anything about the royal family, you would have to live under a rock and kumbaya to not know about Princess Diana. She was one of the world's biggest icons. People all over the world knew who Princess Diana was, and they certainly know her son, Prince Harry. So I think a lot of people, this set off alarm bells of, she's not authentic, she's fake. What's wrong with this woman? And she lied, blatant lies. It was very, very obvious something wasn't right. And then we had the body language. That was weird when she was looking at him with her Charles Manson love bombing stare. And then when she got really tense and her jaw she was literally chewing her jaw. There was a point when he was talking about, I was looking for a woman I could bring into the royal family, someone who's a team player. Meghan's face, she was so uncomfortable. She was practically eating her jaw, because we all know Harry originally said he wanted to find someone who understood what it was like to marry him and take on royal life. He wanted, again, to find a Catherine. He wanted to bring her into the royal firm. He wanted to bring a woman who understood the assignment to be a royal wife, a working royal wife. And Meghan was told him, oh yeah, yep, sure, I'm on board. Yep, everything's fine. She lied. She lied to Harry. She lied to the royal family. They asked her, are you sure you want to be a working royal? You can marry Harry and still do your acting. You don't have to be a working royal. But she said she wanted to be a working royal, and she gave up everything for Harry. The other thing I thought was very interesting was the wedding ring. She hated that wedding ring, you guys. She wanted Princess Diana's ring. And we all know that Harry originally had inherited Diana's ring, but he gave it to William when he proposed to Catherine. Now, you know that just has to chap Meghan Markle's head because she thinks she's Princess Diana 2.0 and that was her ring. I mean, she's the one who channels his dead mom, but yet Catherine's wearing the ring. So you know in her mind, she thinks that ring really is hers, and she hated the ring that Harry designed. That is why she redesigned it. The whole time during the engagement interview when she's looking at the ring, she's like, it's lovely. And you know she's like thinking, okay, we're going to be redesigning this band. We're adding some more diamonds to this thing because it's not exactly a huge diamond ring. It's like 5 carats. And to Meghan Markle, that's chintzy. She wanted either Diana's ring or something like the Kardashians, a 15-carat diamond. She never liked that ring, in my opinion. And you could tell in the video, the language, the body language, it's off. And I think this whole interview with her being overly aggressive turned a lot of people off with major alarm bells. So red flag number 7, Bridezilla. So we all know the minute that Meghan Markle got that little ring on her finger, woo, she turned into Medusa, and she was a major bridezilla. Now, we've gone through this quite a few times, but we know that she was, having a problem with the tiara. She wanted the tiara that Eugenie had picked out for herself. She got extremely upset about that. She got extremely upset with the Queen's dresser because the dresser couldn't meet her at the time that she wanted to practice her hair, which was a mess, by the way, with her tiara. Then there was the bridesmaid dresses. There was the fact that she wanted to get married at Westminster Abbey and wasn't allowed to do so. She wanted to put air fresheners in there. And then, of course, there was the whole thing with how she was treating the staff, the florist, the caterers, where she yelled at them, and the Queen had to intervene and tell her how to talk to people. That's embarrassing. You're a grown woman and you have no manners. You have no etiquette, and you're marrying into the royal family. Red flag. And I'm sure the Queen was like, oh, Lord Jesus, this woman's a nightmare. I'm sure the Queen was hoping maybe they would break up before they got married, because the Queen was already not sure about her, was kind of forced to say yes. And here she is dealing with this bridezilla who had one problem after another. Huge red flag. Red flag number 8 was all of Meghan Markle's family drama. Now, this is something that you just don't see with royal weddings. You don't see the drama that ensued around Meghan Markle's family. Okay, it was a little white trash. I'm sorry. It was embarrassing. I remember when it came out and I was like, what? Oh my God, what is going on with her? Is her dad going to walk her down the aisle? Remember, it was up until like literally a couple of days before the wedding, before we actually knew if he was going to walk her down the aisle. The whole thing with them fighting in the press, and then her half siblings, giving interviews. It was a horrific look. Now, I'm sure the Queen was so upset about this. She wanted Meghan to solve this problem, but Meghan refused. That should have been a red flag. If I was the Queen, I would have said, you either solve your family problems or this wedding's not happening. We're not getting married unless you solve your family problems. Because what a circus this family issue with Meghan and her family has been for the past, almost 7 years? Dragging around all of the drama. In my opinion, if Meghan would have just made peace with her dad and her half siblings, she could have avoided so much. But instead, she wasn't a nice person, and she just let it go, and it kept going, and it kept going, and her father kept doing all those interviews. And then, of course, her half-sister wrote a book, and then her brother has a YouTube channel. Again, if she just would have been a nice person and been civil, she could have avoided all of this drama. The Queen even wanted Meghan to fly and see her father to solve the problem, but Meghan refused. Remember, she wanted to write the letter to her daddy so she could pull at the heartstrings of people. She doesn't care about her family. She ditched them even before she got to the altar. What kind of woman does that to her entire family? Huge red flag. Red flag number 9 was when Meghan Markle demanded that she walk herself down the aisle. Now, this was after King Charles had graciously offered to replace her father, who had had a heart attack and was not able to walk her down the aisle. But Meghan tells the future king, thanks, Charles, but I think I'm going to walk myself down the aisle halfway, and then, okay, you can kind of meet me at the end of the aisle. That's fine. This is a woman who looked like the cat who swallowed the canary with her shite-eating grin, walking down the aisle. She looked manic to me. She looked evil. I'm sorry. She looked odd. The whole wedding itself was odd. So here you have Meghan Markle trying to be the feminist She-Ra that she thought that she was, walking herself down the aisle with her shite-eating grin, and then the king comes out graciously and walks her down the last half of the aisle. To me, that's such a red flag. This woman was so arrogant, and with all of the drama and the circus that she caused with her family leading up to the wedding, you think she'd be a little bit more gracious to the future king and the royal family, but instead, what Megxit wants, Meghan gets. And I still remember when she got out of the car and she swatted that man's hand away when he tried to help her. Oh, I mean, literally, this was a huge indication this woman is going to be a problem. Now, let's talk about the wedding itself. The fact she had one family member, that's weird. One family member. She has a huge family on both sides. Not even her mother's family was there. Why wasn't Doria's family there, right? Remember little Ashley? Little cousin Ashley, that she lied and said, oh, I'm sorry, you can't come to the wedding. They won't let me invite you. The royal family was begging Meghan Markle to make amends and to invite her family. She lied to little Ashley. Remember Samantha's daughter who starred in their mockumentary for Netflix? You got Markled, sis. She lied to you. So it was really odd how Meghan had no friends from her childhood and one family member. Very, very strange. To me, that was a huge red flag. And the 10th and final major red flag was the fact that Harry and Meghan ditched all of their old friends at their wedding. One of their guests, who was an old friend who attended Eton with Prince Harry, said that if you were not invited to the reception, it pretty much meant that your relationship with Harry and Meghan was over. It was kind of out with the old and in with the new. And if you didn't get that coveted invitation to the second party, you were out. You were good enough to show up at my wedding and give us a gift, and then you needed to hightail it out of there. Instead, the reception was a who's who of Hollywood. It was literally a networking event for Meghan Markle. So a lot of people left a bad taste in their mouth that all of Harry's old friends were pretty much cut off. Huge, huge red flag that Meghan, again, was stirring the ship. She controlled everything. She had her hand on his royal kahunas and she was twisting them. And Harry gave up all of his old friends. So now he has new friends, people who could benefit Harry and Meghan when they were going to go over to Hollywood for Megxit. Again, huge, huge red flags that were very evident even before their wedding. In my opinion, that foreshadowed trouble and disaster ahead. And now we look back and see, oh yeah, Megxit was going to happen because Meghan Markle never was going to take to royal life. Meghan Markle never wanted to be a working royal. Meghan Markle was lazy and selfish, and it was all about her. In my opinion, she wanted to get married, get in and get out, and become the Duchess of Hollywood. Unfortunately, it has not worked out for her the way that she thought it was going to. So what do y'all think about these huge 10 red flags that were staring us in the face even before their wedding that pretty much foreshadowed this was not going to work? leave me your comments, guys, down below, and be sure you enter the sweepstakes to win a half-carat diamond solitaire pendant valued at $500. Now, I'm going to announce the lucky winner on November 17th. So be sure, guys, to go and enter the contest down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.